all come here today because we care about this city. We're here to hear from those who are vying to be leaders of this city.
I know what it's like not to have health insurance and know you need it. I know what it's like to watch your mom make 2 stacks of bills. The bills you have to pay this month and the bills you can pay next month, just maybe, so you can buy your kids a pair of sneakers or a pair of eyeglasses. I know what it's like to struggle in New York. And that's why when I stand up for people, it's not because I read about it in a newspaper or in a textbook, it's because I've lived it. We have been let down by a broken political system. It really is an unfair system where it's really 2 sides. Those who have wealth or connections, when they're in trouble, they go out and they get a lobbyist. The rest of us, we're told to write a letter.
During this time of fiscal crisis, how would you use the Office of Public Advocate to address the many challenges that New Yorkers are facing?
In a tough budget time, what do you do as a city? Well, you make sure that those who are in desperate need get what they need. I lived on food stamps last year for 1 week to show how difficult it is to get by on $28.36. It is virtually impossible. I ran out of food in 5 days. So the first thing you do in a budget crisis is stick up for those who are struggling desperately to make ends meet. The second thing you do is make sure that government is doing what families do, and that is tighten its belt. And I don't mean by cutting wages. I don't mean by being hard on workers. I mean by trimming fat.
I would set up an economic task force tapping into the huge amount of talent and volunteers in the city of New York. Include the trade unionists in the city, the civil rights organizations, the community people, and the economic experts. I would hold hearings in as many communities as we could around the city to let people know that there are people in government who care and are listening, and then come up with short and long-term recommendations with regard to the economy. What I would do is decentralize the office. You can't expect people to come to the municipal building. What I've learned from my clients over the years, if you care and want to help people, you got to go into the community. You got to go where they are. You've got to have a public advocate's office in each of the 5 boroughs. I would train, recruit, and supervise hundreds of volunteers every Wednesday night, 6 to 8, every Saturday morning, 11 to 1. We'd be at senior centers. We'd be in the housing projects. We'd be where community centers are. We'd listen to the complaints. We'd come back each week with the volunteers and try to solve the problem.
Good morning. My name is DOREEN, MACK, and I work for New York City Housing Authority. With the budget cuts and cutbacks happening, we're worried about the loss of our health care benefits. As public advocates, how would you address that?
The approach is, for the first time in American history since 1973, the real income of working Americans after inflation has been flat. Productivity has jumped. 90% of all the productivity gains have gone to the top 1%. They haven't gotten to the workers because the Reagan-Bush philosophy is the rich get richer. So to the extent that I can figure out, as public advocate, any policy from avoiding layoffs to living wage to protecting health benefits, I will do anything I can to enhance your real income.
Public advocates have traditionally seen themselves as the voice that presents alternatives to the policies of the mayor. Looking at the current administration, where would you have had policy disagreements? And if you had been public advocate at the time, what would you have done to advance an alternative?
I got to the Denver Democratic Convention, and on the first day, a Daily News reporter, Liz Benjamin, said, "What do you think about Bloomberg having said for 7 years he won't change term limits because it would be wrong, but this morning said, maybe I will?" I think I was about the first public voice captured on her cell video to denounce him for being a hypocrite and for playing with democracy and ignoring 2 votes of the public who wanted to keep term limits as they were.
I helped lead the fight in the City Council to change the rules for subsidies for development. It used to be you could build luxury housing and get a subsidy. We changed the rules in most of the city, at least, so that when you build luxury housing now, if you want a tax break, you must give us affordable housing back. If you don't give us affordable housing, you don't get the tax break. That's a change we had to fight with the mayor to get done. I think we should have gone farther. If we accept the way the power is in this town right now, we'll keep getting those layoffs, even though we know they're hurting families and they're wrong for our economy. We won't get the affordable housing we need. Everyone who's serious in the labor movement, and this local is very serious about the work you do, everyone knows organizing is the way you change things. I look forward to doing that with you, and I would very much appreciate your support. Thank you.